Good day, everyone. So, for today, we will be discussing to you our assigned topic, which is the animal physiology and morphology. So, for our introduction topic, we will start off by knowing what is animal physiology. Physiology is the study of functions of living organisms. This field is very large and can be divided into animal physiology, plant physiology, bacterial physiology, and viral physiology. This chapter will provide an integrated understanding of animal physiology and morphology. Okay, so physiology is the study of functions of living organisms. Daghan siya pwede studyhan, that's why gi-divide siya into animal physiology, plant physiology, bacterial physiology, and viral physiology. And that fields, katutanan ng mga spread din na to studyhan, will provide an integrated understanding of animal physiology and morphology. Physiology, on the other hand, is a scientific study of the normal function in living systems. A subdiscipline of biology, its focus is in how organisms, organ systems, cells, and biomolecules carry out the chemical or physical functions that exist in living system. So since physiology is scientific study man siya, so nag-study siya sa function sa living systems on how organisms, organ systems, cells, and biomolecules carry out the chemical or physical functions nga nag-exist sa ato ang living system. History. Physiological studies date back to ancient civilizations of India and Egypt alongside anatomical studies but did not utilize dissection or vivisection. Sa una, ang physiological studies, sila kibali ang pinakauna nga nakatuon sa physiology, ang India o ang Egypt. And then, gi-include na sab nila ang pag-study sa anatomical studies. But, wala nila gi-utilize ang dissection or vivisection. When we say dissection or vivisection, it is the act of dissecting or something, while vivisection is the action of cutting, surgery, or other invasive treatment of a living organism for the purposes of physiological scientific investigations. Kung mabantayan ninyo sa una man gid na physiologists, nag-study sila, but wala kayo sila wide na knowledge. Like somehow karon man jud is nanay mga surgery, nanay mga invasive treatment, unlike sa una is wala pa. The study of human physiology as a medical field dates back to at least 420 BC, to the time of Hippocrates, also known as the father of medicine. So pag-study sa physiology, naabtan pa sa panahon ni Hippocrates, and also Hippocrates was the father of medicine. Hippocrates incorporated his belief system called the theory of humors, which consisted of four basic substances: the earth, water, air, and fire. Aristotle also took to the humoral theory of disease, which also consisted of four primary qualities in life, which is hot, cold, wet, and dry. So when we say humoral theory, it is the medical philosophy of the ancient Greeks, in which the state of health and disease was determined by the four body humors: blood, yellow, and black bile, and phlegm. And the relationship with four elemental humors, mo ta ko gi-mention kagaina, ang air, ang fire, ang earth, ug ang water. Claudius Galenus, known as Galen of Pergamum, was the first to use experiments to functions of the body. So si Galenus, usa siya ka-experiment, siya ang nag-experiment sa functions sa mga body. And Galen was also the founder of experimental physiology, and for the next 1,400 years, Galenic physiology was a powerful and influential tool in medicine. Siya pa ang founder sa experimental sa physiology, siya pa gyud ang powerful, influential tool sa medicine. So, muna ang background ni Claudius Galenos. Galen also saw the human body consisting of 3 connected systems, which are the brain and nerves, the heart and arteries, the liver and veins. So another topic is all about women and physiology. Initially, women were largely excluded from official involvement in many physiological society. In 1902, the American Physiological Society elected Ida Heidi as the first female member of the society. Heidi, a representative of the American Association of University Women and a global advocate for gender equality in education, attempted to promote gender equality in every aspect of science and medicine. Sa unang panahon, ang mga babae wala pa sila i-include as official involvement sa Physiological Society. However, pag-abot og 1902, ang American Physiological Society nag-elect sila og usa ka representative sa Association of University Women and gi-advocate nila si Ida Heidi nga mag-promote sa gender equality in every aspect of science and medicine. Okay, there are many ways to categorize there are many ways to categorize subdisciplines. First is based on the texts studied. They have human physiology, animal physiology, plant physiology, microbial physiology, viral physiology. The second is based on the level of organization. They have cell physiology, molecular physiology, systems physiology, organismal physiology, ecological physiology, and integrative physiology. The third is based on the process that causes physiological variation. They have development physiology, environmental, and evolutionary physiology. The fourth is based on the ultimate goals of the research. They have applied and non-applied physiology. The next topic is human physiology. What is human physiology? Okay, so human physiology seeks to understand the mechanisms that work to keep the human body alive and functioning through scientific inquiry into the nature of mechanical, physical, and biochemical functions of humans, their organs, and the cells of which they are composed. Okay, so human physiology is the science, of the mechanical, physical, and biochemical function of humans and serves as the foundation of modern medicine. So, the study of human physiology integrates knowledge across many levels. So, including biochemistry, including cell physiology, the organ systems, and the body as a whole. Okay, that's all, everyone. I hope that naamoy nasabtan sa ko ang topic. So, thank you for watching.
Good day, everyone. I am Carmela Obinantoles. And now I will report animal physiology and morphology. And this is the content of my report: morphology and classification, division of morphology and 3D cell morphology classification. And my part is morphology and biology. And now, what is morphology? Morphology is a branch of biology dealing with the study of the form and structure of organisms and their specific structural features. This includes aspects of outward appearance, i.e. external morphology, as well as the form and structure of the internal parts like bones and organs, ay internal morphology. And morphology in biology, the study of the size, shape, and structure of animals, plants, and microorganisms, and of the relationships of their constituent part. Ang morphology ay nagtuon siya nag-study sa mga species parehas sa animals, sa size, shape, kumbaga overall na ni siya atong baga-studyhan. Dili na nato kailangan isa-isahon kay based sa PowerPoint presentation nakuha na niya kung unsa jud ang morphology. The next, division of morphology. Division of morphology is one. Comparative morphology is analysis of patterns of the locus of structure within the body plan of organisms and forms the basis of taxonomical of categorization. Comparative morphology, ito ay pagsusuri ng mga pattern ng locus. When we say locus, the physical site or location of a specific gene on a chromosome ng mga istruktura sa loob ng body plan ng mga organismo at bumubuo ng batayan ng taxonomical ng pagkakategorya. Then, the second is functional morphology. Functional morphology is the study of the relationship between the structure and function of morphological features. Ang functional morphology ay ang pag-aaral ng kaugnay sa pagitan ng istruktura at pag-andar ng mga tampok na morphological. Then, the third is experimental morphology, which is pinag-aaral dito kung ano ang nakakaapekto sa lubas ng mga species like the effect of genetic mutation. Then, the next is anatomy. Anatomy is study of structure of organisms. For example, studyhan nimo ang animals which is body sa animals. The study of the structure of the body of an organism. Then ang example sa comparative morphology and functional morphology. Halimbawa ng comparative morphology. Comparative morphology, halimbawa ang mga pakpak ng isang ibon at tutubi ay parihong nagsisilbi sa panahong parihong function. Tinutulungan nila ang organismo na lumipad. Gayunpaman kapag inihambing ang anatomiya ng mga pakpak na ito, ang mga ito ay ibang-iba. Ang pakpak ng ibon ay may mga buto sa loob at natatakpan ng mga balahibo, habang ang pakpak ng tutubi ay nawawala ang parihong mga strukturang ito. Halimbawa ng functional morphology is nakakatulong ang functional morphology na maunawaan ang anyo ng mga modernong hayop. Halimbawa, kahit na ang kaswal na pagmamasid ay nagpapakita na ang mga elepante ay mga napakakapal na mga binti ayon sa laki na kanilang katawan kung inihambing sa mas maliit na hayop tulad ng antelope o mga kabayo. The next is morphology and classification. Most taxa differ morphologically from other taxa. Typically, closely related taxa differ much less than more distantly related ones, but there are exceptions to this. Cryptic species are species which look very familiar, very similar, or perhaps even outwardly identical, but are reproductive isolated. Conversely, sometimes unrelated taxa acquire a similar appearance as a result of convergent evolution or even mimicry. Example is plants. I-classify man yun ang plants ng categorization o naman yun na ang seeds. Pag magtanom ka sa plants, di ba, hangtod, nagkatubo dayon na naana ang root, stem, leaves ug ang iyang flower. Karamihan sa mga taksa ay naiiba sa morphological mula sa iba pang taksa. Kalalasan, ang mga malapit na nanaugnay na taksa ay naiiba ng mas mababa kaysa mga mas malayong nauugnay, ngunit may mga pagbubukod dito. Ang mga cryptic species ay mga species na halos magkapareho sa panlabas ngunit nagkahiwalay sa reproductive. Sa kabaligtaran, kung minsan ang hindi naugnay na taksa ay nakakakuha ng katulad na itsura bilang isang resulta ng convergent evolution o kahit mimicry. So there is a morphology and classification is kadalasan is kanang kung kinsa tong mga malapit is maupatong na ay mga naugnay or kanang naiba bitaw siya din kasagaran pud sa mga mga naiba is kapareho lang kay tungod na sa convergent evolution o mimicry. Then the next is third cell morphology classification. Invention and development of microscopy enable the observation of 3D cell morphology with both high spatial and temporal resolution. The dynamic processes of the cell morphology, which are controlled by a complex system, play an important role in important biological process such as immune and invasive responses. Ang pag-iimbento at pagbuo ng microscopy ay nagbibigay daan sa pagmamasid ng 3D cell morphology na may parihong mataas na spatial at temporal na resolution ng mga invasive sa tugon. So, let me ask you a question. Why nganong importante man mag-study og morphology? The study of morphology is important in biology as it helps in studying the external features of an individual, including the size, shape, and structure of individual. The study of morphology also helps us to determine the evolutionary relationships between organisms. So kinahanglan jud ta mag-study og morphology kay nakakuan na siya diri nag-study siya sa mga organisms, sa mga species, sa mga animals na atong naadri sa atong earth. So thank you and God bless. That's all my report about morphology. Then keep safe everyone. Thank you.
Good day everyone. I am Jisami Palaran Bandola and I am the reporting of understanding animal locomotion. What is animal locomotion? Animal locomotion is the movement of animals from one place to another. Some forms of locomotion are running, jumping, flying, and hopping. Role of skin in locomotion: arboreal, terrestrial locomotion, aquatic locomotion, and fin and flipper locomotion are some important topics related to animal locomotion. This is the role of skin in locomotion. First is arboreal locomotion. Arboreal locomotion refers to species that live in and move through trees. These animals often possess physical adaptations that aid in this movement. These adaptations may include long limbs, prehensive tall and closed animals that exhibit arboreal locomotion include squirrels, sloths, and monkeys. Second, terrestrial locomotion are any of the several forms of animals' movements such as walking and running, jumping, saltation and crawling, walking and running, in which the body is carried well of the surface on which the animal's moving substrate occur only in arthropods and vertebrates. There are the three basic forms of animal locomotion in the terrestrial environment. First is leg, a moving by using appendage. Second, limbless locomotion, moving without legs, primarily using the body itself as a propulsive structure. Third, rolling, rotating the body over the substrate. The third one, aquatic locomotion. Aquatic locomotion or swimming is biology propelled motion through a liquid medium. The simplest propulsive system are composed of cilia and flagella. Swimming has evolved a number of times in a range of organisms, including arthropods, fish, mollusks, reptiles, birds, and animals. Aquatic locomotion in animals moving through water, either by swimming or by progression in contact with the substrate, i.e. the bottom or other surface. Free-swimming locomotion is found in animals ranging from protozoans to whales. Next is fin and flipper locomotion. Occurs mostly in aquatic locomotion and rarely in terrestrial locomotion. From the three common states of matter, gas, liquid, and solid, these appendages are adapted for liquids, mostly fresh or salt water, and used in locomotion, steering, balancing of the body. What is the difference between flipper and fin? Fins have no true bones or skeletal structure within and are composed primarily of cartilage. A flipper has a bone structure as well as cartilage, joints, and tendons. Animal locomotion. Animal locomotion in ethology is any of a variety of movements or methods that animals use to move from one place to another. Some modes of locomotion are initially self-propelled, e.g., running, swimming, jumping, flying, hopping, soaring, and gliding. There are also many animal species that depend on their environment for transportation, a type of mobility called passive locomotion. Healing, some jellyfish, keating, spiders, and ruling, some beetles and spiders. These are the three types of locomotion. Locomotion is the ability to move from one place to another, and the three types of locomotion which are performed by living organisms include flight locomotion, swimming locomotion, and land locomotion. Flight locomotion is flying, which includes the motion of an organism through the air, example, birds. And here are the purpose and advantage of locomotion. Purpose: locomotion helps us to move from one place to another. In general, animals require locomotion for defense, searching for food, and shelter. The locomotory movement is the coordinated movement of various bones, tissues, and joints such as cartilage, muscles, bone, ligaments, and tendons, etc. The advantage: animals move for variety reasons such as to find food, a mate, a suitable microhabitat, or to escape predators. For many animals, the ability to move is essential for survival, and as a result, natural selection has shaped the locomotion methods and mechanisms used by moving organisms. The term etymology is locomotion form in English from Latin loco, from a place. Ablative of locus, a place plus motion, a moving. Mo na siyang gitawag nga moving organism. The term etymology is locomotion form in English from Latin loco, from a place. Ablative of locus, a place plus motion, a moving. Mo na siyang gitawag nga locomotion. Locomotion in different area. Aquatic swimming. Aquatic. The drag encountered in water is much greater than in air. Morphology is therefore important for efficient locomotion, which is in most cases essential for basic functions such as catching prey. A fusiform, torpedo-like body form is seen in many aquatic animals. Through the mechanisms the use for locomotions are diverse. Next is benthic locomotion. Benthic locomotion is movement by animals that live on, in, or near the bottom of aquatic environments in the sea. Animals walk over the seabed. The tube feet typically have a tip shaped like a suction pad that can create a vacuum through contractions of muscles. This, along with some stiffness from the secretion of mucus, provides adhesion. Waves of tube feet contractions and reductions move along the adherent surface, and the animals move slowly along. Some sea urchins also use their spines for benthic locomotion. The term benthic refers to anything associated with or occurring on the bottom of a body of water. The animals and plants that live on or in the bottoms are known as the benthos. In ocean waters, near shore and estuary areas are most frequently mapped. So, here is an example of benthic. Clams, worms, oysters, shrimp, like crustaceans, and mussels are all examples of benthic organisms. What is an benthic animals? Animals that live in the sea floor are called benthos. Most of these animals lack a backbone and are called invertebrates. Typically, benthic invertebrates include sea anemones, sponge, corals, sea stars, sea urchins, worms, crabs, and many more. Aquatic surface. Aquatic surface. Balila cells always align along the direction of the wind, where the cell may act as an aerofoil so that the animals tend to sail downwind at a small angle to the wind. Aquatic surface is an advanced water system composed of multiple specialized materials useful in making lakes and falls. Aquatic surface is well-optimized advanced materials that implement configurable water effects. That's all. Thank you.
Aerial active flight. Gravity is the primary obstacle to flight because it is impossible for any organism to have a density as low as that of air. Flying animals must generate enough lift to ascend and remain airborne. So, sa active flight, it is the motion of animal through the air like insects, birds, and bat. Then, nag-required po ni siya og higher rate of energy to achieve flight. Diba, nakabantay mo ng mga butterfly na mutugdong siya. Then, pag mulupad na sila, nagkinahanglan po na sila higher rate of energy para maka flight na sila og sakto sa ilahang kanang kakusgon sa ilahang paglupad. Gliding. Some arboreal animals reduce the rate of falling by gliding. The term volplaning also refers to this mode of flight in animals, and these modes involves flying a greater distance horizontally than vertically. So, Some aquatic animals also regularly use gliding, like for example flying fish, octopus, and squid. So sa gliding, iyahang movement, the way siya iyahang locomotion is move with a smooth or continuous motion, effortless or typically with a little noise. Diba, nakabantay man ng example ka ng parachute, the way siya ma-fall sa iyahang landinganan, gliding iyahang movement, reduce the rate by falling by gliding. Soaring. Gravitational gliding is one of the basic mechanisms of soaring, which is restricted to birds. Although birds must obtain their initial elevation by means of flapping or flight, and this also involves wind or air currents. So, to soar means more than just to fly. Ballooning is a method of locomotion used by spiders. Certain silk-producing arthropods secrete a special light with gossamer silk for ballooning, sometimes traveling great distances at high altitude. So, ballooning, it is the process by which spiders, dili lang mga spiders, pati na pod mga small invertebrates. So, they move through the air by releasing one or more gossamer. Gossamer means lahang sapot. To catch the wind, cause them to become airborne at the mercy of air currents and electric field. Terrestrial. It is a form of locomotion on land, include walking, running, hopping, or jumping, dragging, and crawling. Her friction, buoyancy are no longer an issue, but strong skeletal and muscular framework are required in most terrestrial animals for structural support, and balance is required for movement on land. Like, for example, kung magdagan ta, diba kung animal is kanang magdagan or maglakaw lang, nagkinahanglan po na siya strong skeletal and muscular framework kay para ma-achieve niya iyang sakto na dagan or sakto na paglakaw. Diba, kung wala kay strong skeletal, diba, di jud ka katindog og maayo. Then, like human infants learn to crawl first before they are able to stand on 2 feet, which requires good coordination as well as physical development. So, tawag po na siya terrestrial. When running, only 1 foot is on the ground at any one time at most. At higher speed, momentum helps keep the body upright so more energy can be used in movement. Sliding. It is due to its low coefficient of friction. Ice provides the opportunity for other modes of locomotions. Toboganing, a movement that penguins created. So, toboganing ang example ana sa picture. Walking and running. Modern birds, though classified as tetrapods. Tetrapods means a 4-footed animals usually have only 2 functional legs, though, like for example, kangaroo, diba, 4-footed siya nga animals, pero yung gina-function lang na legs is duha. Few modern mammalian species are habitual bipeds whose normal method of locomotion is 2 legs. So, like for example, in the picture, emu, kiwi, and ostrich, diba? Normally, duha gid iyahang gina-function pag maglakaw sila or pag madagan.
Hi everyone, I am Jenny V. O. Magsarsa, and now I will discuss to you the assigned topic to me, and it is powered cartwheeling. Powered cartwheeling is the American flick-flock spider or Cybernus reichenbergi uses a series of rapid, acrobatic flick-flock movements of its leg is similar to those used by gymnasts to actively propel itself off the ground, allowing it to move both down and uphill even at a 40% incline. For those who already know a gymnast style, then you already know what is the flick-flock spider movements. But for those who don't know, I will show you what it is. It is like this. They raise their legs in a different ways. So that is a powered cartwheeling. But in this behavior is different than other huntsman spiders such as Carparacne, a ray of lava from the Namib deserts, which uses passive cartwheeling as a form of locomotion. The flip-flop spider can reach speeds of up to 2 meters using forward or back flips to evade threats. Then, subterranean. Some animals move through solids such as soil by burrowing using peristalsis as in earthworms or other methods. Subterranean is a place and it is the example of subterranean place. It is a tunnel with there are tunnel that have a soil and then a water. Kanang naay mga bangag-bangag mao na ang kanang gipuy-an sa mga animals. But in loose solids such as sand, some animals such as the golden mole, marsupial mole, and the pink fairy armadillo are able to move more rapidly swimming through the loose substrate. But kanang sa tubig kung how kanang mulangoy sila is kanang mas comfortable sila, kanang mas paspas that is subterranean looks like a place where the animal live. Then arboreal locomotion is the locomotion of animals in trees. Some animals may only scale trees occasionally, while others are exclusively arboreal. Arboreal is a locomotion with I will show you the example. Like the monkey and cheetah. It is the kanang mga animals nga nagpuyo sa kahoy. Ano sila. Then brachiation is a form of arboreal locomotion in which primates swing from the tree limb to tree limb using only their arms. This is how they move. They are going to use their arms to transfer into another twist. That is brachiation. Then energetics. Animal locomotion requires energy to overcome various forces including friction, drag, inertia, and gravity. Although the influence of this depends on the circumstances. Dili lang kita ang kinahanglan og energy but also the animals because they are for their movements they are going they are need kanang kinahanglan nila og kusog para sa ilahang lain-lain nga mga buluhaton o mga movements. Then in terrestrial environment, gravity must be overcome where areas the drag of air has little influence. Mauni ang this is how terrestrial environment looks like. It's full of trees. And pag naa ka diri is ang ma-frigid nimo is a fresh air mao nang makakuha pud sila diri og kanang air, fresh air with their kadugag sa ilang gravity. Next is in a chaos environment, friction or drag becomes a major energetic challenge with gravity being less of an influence. In a chaos environment is mo na ang major energetic challenge ang kinahanglan jud nimo og dako nga enerhiya para makuha nimo ang mga buluhaton. Then passive locomotion in animals is a type of mobility in which the animal depends on their environment for transportation. In animal type is nagdepende ang ilahang pag-transfer into another place depend for their environment. Ang passive locomotion. Then hydrozoans, the Portuguese man-o-war or Physalia physalis lives at the surface of the ocean. The gas-filled bladder or pneumotopor, or sometimes called a sail, remains at the surface while the remainder is submerged. If you don't know what is hydrozoans, then I will show you. This is how it's look like, and also it is only live in a salt water or in ocean. Because the Portuguese man-o-war has two means of propulsion, it is moved by a combination of winds, currents, and tides. That is hydrozoan. So, that would be all for my topic. Thank you very much.
Arachnids. The wheel spider or golden wheel spider, Carparachni aeroflava, is a handman spider approximately 20 mm in size and native to the Namib Desert of southern Africa. So, we can find the huntsman spider in Laos. So, arachnids are spider harvestmen, mites, and ticks. All arachnids have 8 legs, and unlike insects, they don't have antennae or wings. So, arachnids are part of a larger group called arthropods. Insects. The larva of Cicindela dorsalis, the stern beach tiger beetle, is notable for its ability to leap into the air, loop its body into a rotating wheel, and root along the sand at high speed using wind to propel itself. So, insect is the largest group within the arthropod phylum. Insects are pancrustacean, hexapod, and invertebrates of the class Insecta. So, the examples of insects are butterfly, dragonfly, stonefly. Crustaceans. Although stomatopods typically display the standard locomotion type as seen in true shrimp and lobster, one species, Nacenduela decempinora, has been observed flipping itself into a crude whale. The examples of crustaceans is lobster, shrimp, crayfish, and crab. And dili sila pwede sa land or dry. Other word of crustaceans is shellfish. Animal transport. Some animals change location because they are attached to reside in another animal or moving structure. This is arguably more accurate terms animal transport. So, transport is an integral part of the life of animals. Whether they are being transported for food, sports, or sports. Thousands of animals are transported every year throughout the world, bring about important challenges related to their health and welfare. Remoras are a family Echinidae or reef-finned fish. They grow to 30 to 90 centimeter. Remoras are also called shark sucker or sucker fish. The remoras swim very close to the shark o ginaprotektahan sa shark ang remoras from predators and ginahatagan silang freedom throughout the ocean.
Hi everyone, I am Pia Martuseli Sarna, and for today I will going to discuss the part of physiology and morphology. So first is anglerfish. Anglerfish are deep sea predators famous for their method for hunting. Arguably some of the ugliest looking creatures in the depths of the ocean. Following the bubblish, behind the bubblish. These creatures are usually rounded in shape with a long growth sprouting from the head. The fleshy growth acts as a lure to draw in prey, which the anglerfish engulfed with its large toothy mouth. In some species of anglerfish, when a male finds a female, he bites into her skin and releases an enzyme that digests the skin of his mouth and her body, using the pair down to blood vessel level. The females become dependent on the female host for survival by receiving nutrients via shared circulatory system and provide sperms to female in return. After fusing, males increase in volume and become much larger relative to free-living males of the species. They live and remain reproductively functional as the female lives, and can take part in multiple spawning. This extreme sexual dimorphism ensures when the female is ready to spawn, she has a mate immediately available. Multiple males can be incorporated in a single individual female with up to 8 males in some species, though some taxa appear to have a 1 male per female rule. So next is parasites. Many endoparasites and ectoparasites, due to their parasitic behavior, are transported by other animals. So when we say endoparasite, it is a parasite that lives in the tissue and organs of their host, such as tapeworms, flukes, and protozoans of vertebrates. While ectoparasites is a parasite that live on an external surface of hosts. For example, fleas and lice of various terrestrial vertebrates. So, due to their parasitic behavior, are transported by other animals. For example, tapeworms attach themselves to the inside of the alimentary tract of other animals and do not locomote within the animal. Other parasites may locomote within or on their host, which in turn might be active or stationary. So they do, however, depend on movement of the host to distribute their eggs. For example, an adult dog flea may crawl about the skin of its sleeping canine host, but when the dog awakes and moves, it could be argued to the flea is being transported. Next is changes between media. Some animals locomote between different media, for example, from aquatic to aerial. This often requires different modes of locomotion in the different media and may require a distinct transitional locomotor behavior. This represents the major taxons of mammals, for example, beaver, otter, polar bear. In birds, penguins, and ducks. And in reptiles, anaconda, bug, turtle, and iguana. And also in amphibians, salamanders, and frogs. Next is fish. Some fish use multiple modes of locomotion. Walking fish may swim freely or at other times walk along the ocean or river floor but not on land. For example, flying gurnard, which does not actually fly, and bat fishes of the Ogocyphalidae family. Amphibious fish are fish that are able to leave water for extended period of time. These fish use the range of terrestrial locomotory modes such as lateral undulation, tripod-like walking using paired fins and tail, and jumping. Many of these locomotory modes incorporate multiple combinations of pectoral, pelvic, and tail fin movement. For example, it includes eels, mudskippers, and the walking catfish. Flying fish can make powerful self-propelled leaps out of water into air, where their long wing-like fins enable leading flight for considerable distances above the surface. This uncommon ability is a natural defense mechanism to evade predators. The flight of flying are typically around 50 meters, though they can travel at speeds of more than 70 kilometers per hour. Maximum altitude is 6 meters or 20 feet above the surface of the sea. Next is marine mammals. Marine mammals are aquatic mammals that rely on the ocean and other marine ecosystems for their existence. They include animals such as seals, whales, manatees, sea otters, and polar bears. They are an informal group, unified only by their reliance on marine environment for feeding and survival. When swimming, several marine mammals such as dolphins, porpoises, and pinnipeds frequently leap above the water surface whilst maintaining horizontal locomotion. This is done by various reasons. When traveling, jumping can save dolphins and porpoises energy as there is less friction while in the air. This type of travel is known as porpoising. Other reasons for dolphins and porpoises performing porpoising include orientation, social displays, fighting, non-verbal communication, and entertainment, and attempting to dislodge parasites. In pinnipeds, there are two types of porpoising. First is the higher porpoising. It is most often near within 100 meters to shore and is often followed by the minor current changes. This may help seals get their bearing on beaching or rafting sites. Second is the low porpoising. The low porpoising is typically observed relatively far, more than 100 meters from shore, and often aborted in favor of anti-predator movements. This may be a way for seals to maximize subsurface vigilance and thereby reduce their vulnerability to sharks. Some whales raise their entire body vertically out of the water in a behavior known as breaching. Next is birds. Some semi-aquatic birds use terrestrial locomotion, surface swimming, and underwater swimming and flying. For example, ducks and swans. Diving birds also use diving locomotion. For example of this is leopards and auks. Some birds have lost the primary locomotion of flight. The largest of these ostriches, when being pursued by a predator, have been known to reach speeds over 70 kilometers per hour and can maintain a steady speed of 50 kilometers per hour, which makes the ostrich the world's fastest two-legged animal. Ostrich can also locomote swimming. Penguins either waddle on their feet or slide on their bellies across the snow, a movement called tobogganing, which conserves energy while moving quickly. They also jump with both feet together if they want to move more quickly or across steep or rocky terrain. To get onto land, penguins sometimes propel themselves upward at a great speed to leap out the water.
Changes during the life cycle. An animal's mode of locomotion may change considerably during its life cycle. Barnacles are exclusively marine and tend to live shallow in tidal water. They have tonic, active swimming, larval stages, but as an adult, they are sessile, non-motile, suspension feeder. Frequently, adults are attack a moving object such as wheels and ships, and are thereby transported passive locomotions around the ocean. Animal locomotion in ethology is any of a variety of methods that animals use to move from one place to another. Some modes of locomotions are initially self-propelled, example, running, swimming, flying, hopping, soaring, and gliding. There are many animal species that depends on their environment for transportation, a type of mobility called passive locomotion. Example, sailing, some jellyfish, kiting, spiders, rolling, some beetles and spiders, or riding other animals or porises. Function: animals locomote for a variety of reasons, such as to find foods, a mate, a suitable microhabitat, or to escape predators. For many animals, the ability to move is essential for survival, and as a result, natural selection has shaped the locomotion method and mechanism used by moving organisms. For example, migratory animals that travel vast distances, such as Arctic tern, typically have a locomotion mechanism that costs very little energy per unit distance, whereas non-migratory animals must frequently move quickly to escape predators, are likely to have energetically costly but very fast locomotion. Animals use locomotions in a wide variety of ways to produce food. Terrestrial methods include ambush predation, social predation, grazing. Aquatic method includes filter feeding, grazing, round feeding, sumption feeding, protrusion, and pivot feeding. Other methods includes parasitism and parasitoidism. Understanding animals' locomotion. Electromyography, or EMG, is a method of detecting the electrical activity that occurs when muscles is activated, thus determining which muscles an animals use for a given movement. This can be accomplished either than surface electrodes, usually in large animals, or implanted electrodes, open wire thinner than a human hair. Furthermore, the intensity of electrical activity can correlate the level of muscles activity. With greater activity in flying, it's not definitely showing greater than force. Particle image velocimetry is used in aquatic and aerial systems to measure the flow of fluid around and past a moving aquatic organism, allowing fluid dynamics calculation to determining pressure gradients and speed.